Hey there, my name is Alberto and I'm currently developing this turn-based strategy game using the Unity engine. But today I wanted to talk a bit about my thoughts on starting your own indie game career, and I want to focus on the question about, is it necessary to have some prior professional experience in the game industry? This is usually a big topic. There's a lot of discussions about this, and yeah, I just wanted to share my own experience. And yeah, first, if we look a bit back on what is actually there, what exists out there is no clear answer to this. You can see both indie games that have been a huge success, which are made by people that left a big studio or that have some kind of professional career in maybe in animation, video, and not necessarily needed to be in the game industry. And then you also see these successful indie games which were made by someone that had no prior experience at all. So yeah, the question is, do you really need this experience to actually start your career? Or maybe a better question is, what would that give you if you would have this experience? Would that help you or not? Well, the answer to this, yeah, from my opinion, it's a bit of a double-sided sword, because if you look at games that are successful and they are made by people with no experience, the interesting part of these games is that they might have followed a bit of a uncommon path. The roadmap was not set by the standard patterns that you can learn from AAI game studios. And that, I think, it's something that we should take into account, right? The moment you have this experience, you've been working for 1, 2, 3, 4 years in these companies, you get these kind of patterns in your head. So it is actually the challenge when you start your indie path is to know what to use or not from this knowledge. And that's actually a big topic itself. It's very difficult. So there are many things that are very useful when you work in a big team, but when you're working alone or with a very small team, they are completely useless, and they are even blocking you. And the way you market the game, the way you develop the game, it's completely different, and that's true. And that's what you have to learn to differentiate between one type of how large is your studio, no, from an indie game and AAA studio. That being said, it looks like I'm saying that you don't need that experience, right? But let's look from the other side. So I've been working for a couple of years in a quite large studio, not a AAA, but quite large to not be considered an indie game studio. And I've learned of course, mostly in my side, which is the programming. I've learned so many ways of doing the things differently of what you would completely get from tutorials or from any other things, which is actually helping me so much to develop much faster and much better, that I would say it was completely worth it for me. I was also able to see the whole process, see how other departments work, how art, how music, how other things are developed, and how everything integrates together. And it is actually very useful. And again, that being said, is it necessary to build your own indie game? I don't think it's necessary, but I think it can help you a lot. You really need to know how to apply these things. And in terms of coding, of programming, I think it helps a lot, because it is very difficult to come up with some of the patterns and ways of coding architectures that I've seen in already existing code from the company, right? And that's what makes a big difference. It is very difficult to come up with something like that. And even though you can maybe not apply directly with the game that you're making, it will help you a lot to design properly and to make then your development faster. But again, building a game is it's an immense work. It has so many things. So having this experience might help you to be fast, but might not lead you to the path of success. Just you don't know. You need these other things. You need to also explore. You need to learn by yourself. You need to, I think, be able of having these crazy thoughts and also be wild sometimes and say, I go for this, I go for that. I'm a small company in the sense maybe I'm a solo developer. I have this opportunity. I can just shift and shift and shift and try to find the right way. And also what I found super important is that you at some point you really find this path and continue in that way, and build up towards something and then test and play test and play test a lot. These kind of things will make your game every time better and better and better. So it's just a matter of also being patient and believing in what you're doing, which is most of the time the most difficult thing, right? When you're developing, you are lots of time thinking, this is bullshit, this is not going to work. I thought this could be a good idea, this is not a good idea. But then you maybe play with a friend of you and you say, oh fuck, that's actually, we could make it a bit in a different way, and then it makes a lot of sense and then it works really well. So just, even though if you are solo developing, just try to find other ways of looking to your game. That's a bit my point here. You need to look at your game from a very different perspective. And of course, having someone that has no clue about the game, just put that person there and play your game will help a lot. But coming back to the question, yeah, so I honestly think that having this experience with a big company might help you a lot. You only need to be smart on what to apply or not. And coming back to the original question, and let's just put an example. If I start developing solo without prior experience, so I'm learning on the process now, the normal way you do it's just most of the time you will have some game jams that you will get some experience, some confidence on what you're doing, and you will be thinking, okay, I'm good on this, I build this, and then every time you are improving and making your things better. The problem you might have, and I think everybody has, is that you don't really know if you are doing the right thing or if you're doing it properly. How are you debugging your game? How are you, whatever, everything, you made it yourself. You don't have this someone with a lot of experience and a really good, let's say in my case, I'm always will put programmer there that will actually tell you, yeah, that's maybe do it in this way, in this way, in this way, it's actually better because of this and this. And getting to that point, you might get to that point also by yourself. It will take you a lot of time because you just need to face these walls, not say, oh fuck, if I could have changed this way of making it, could have been better. But yeah, that's mainly the thing you get, no, from working with this, no? So it's a moment in which you really are absorbing a lot of knowledge, and that the danger is that, so you're absorbing and absorbing and absorbing, and the danger is that you might get also really tied to that what you know, and then getting out of this really straight path, it's sometimes a difficult thing. So that being said, I don't think there is a clear answer to this. Just do whatever you feel works for you. If you feel overwhelmed doing it by yourself, you maybe need to do this step and try to look for working in a company. I always say it's nice to do it. It just, you can just start and then stop if you don't like it or if you feel it's unnecessary, and it's going to make you have a success or not. That I think nobody knows, because when you listen also the developers talking after, no, the post-mortem process of your game, and they say, even a week before I was completely scared, I had thought many times the game was bullshit, it was not going to perform. And that's what you always hear. And it is also a matter, I would say, apart from experience or not, it's also a matter of a mental thing. It's just so much time that you put and so much effort you put on one single thing that you have to also keep your mind pretty straight. And that, I think, is the best advice I can give you. Just the upside downs will be there. When you're in the down part, just try to keep going. Try to keep doing the things you're doing. Don't think always the tasks you're doing or the features you're making for your game are not going to be worth it or not. Just try to find your ways, the way that makes you develop in a healthy way. Because if you feel happy, positive, this will go well. If not, it won't. And yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share. It's a bit of thoughts, and yeah, just a bit of a very open conversation. So I hope you like it. Just please leave your comments. I would also love to know what do you think about all this topic.